All great leaders begin with a vision to start a movement, to make a real impact in society, communicating their message and aligning themselves with like-minded people to equip and inspire others to attain their vision. Creating a vital, healthy community is a group effort, and at the heart of it, you'll find local businesses and organizations fueled by committed people who are passionate about building a better tomorrow for us all. The Toronto Caribbean newspaper has started their own movement, promising to focus on the needs of the community, seeking out relationships with businesses and corporations that share in that same mission. We are legacy builders with one shot to make a difference, and together we can empower the community by adding value, instilling self-worth, and showcasing the cultural identity of our beautiful and ethnically diverse community. As business leaders, we have a corporate responsibility to set the tone of our community with principles led by performance-focused results. By combining our reach, we can provide a platform to establish and share our contributions with the world. We are all people working for companies that are interested in building a better community, helping people stand tall and be proud of their culture. If anybody has ever done it, then you can too. We are all capable, and working together, combining our skills and resources, we can make a change and leave behind an unforgettable legacy.
Welcome to the first edition of The Gloves Are Off with yours truly, Grant Browning, and I have someone who's like just chilling. You're used to camera, aren't you?
No, I'm working on it. Of course, it's just
okay.
another
So
person.
we have author and speaker, Mr. Andrew E. Guy.
Hi, how you guys doing?
I'm doing awesome, man.
Good, man. Good,
I'm
man.
doing
Thanks
real
for having
good.
me, man.
It's a pleasure having you on the
Thank
show.
you, thank you.
I know I promised you, and we're doing it, and
Let's
you're kicking
do it.
off. You're the second
Let's
show,
do
the
it.
second official show.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's rock it out of the house.
Thankful to be here.
So why don't you tell people first a little bit about who Andrew Guy is? Andrew E. Guy.
Well, Andrew E. Guy is this individual that believes that there's more to what you see.
Okay.
You know, and just piggybacking off that picture that you have out there in the studio in the hallway, it's a big iceberg, and then you only see a tip of it, but the real bulk or the real person, we don't really see.
Gotcha.
We only have to experience that. But so most people look at me as this motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, but I tell them I'm neither. I transform people's life. After I speak to someone, if they call me back because they just like the talk, then I may not go back.
Okay.
If you told me that I've transformed your thinking, I've gotten you from A to N, then we've made progress. So, in a nutshell, I'm the guy who's speaking to people's life. I'm a certified science teacher. I'm an author. I'm a father and a husband. And I'm a person that wants people to live their life to its fullest potential. That's me in a nutshell.
Wow. That's powerful in itself. So you got two books.
Yes.
Okay, so one is The Anatomy of the Kingdom and the Power of Community.
That's right.
Wow, I like that last part, the power of community.
That's right.
And then the second one, which is Work Your Words. This is your newest one, correct?
This one is the newest one. This is the first one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew, you got some pretty, like when we were talking, so I met Andrew for the first time last week.
Yes.
And why don't you tell a little bit of the story about that first?
Oh, it was amazing. You know, you ever get one of those emails where there's a whole bunch of ads in there and just pictures, like, okay, fine, not that, not that, not that. And then I saw this, it was like a flyer. It was the business meetup that you were having in Italy, business social. And I just picked that one out and I said, I want to speak to that person. I'm like, okay, well, what are the odds? So the phone number was there. I said, let me call. So I rang the phone and then I'm like, nah, that person is, if they answer, this is going to be my day, right? So I rang and the phone rang and then he was like, hello, this is Grant. I said, let me speak to Grant. Oh, you're speaking to him. I'm like, oh, what the? I said, listen, the thing that came to my mind at the time is, what is it that you look for when you're booking speakers? Because I wanted to know, some people book speakers because they want to look about their content or they want to find if it goes with their theme and stuff. I said, what do you look for? Because I saw some people on there saying, what does it take to get there? I want to meet this guy. I just got to meet this guy, right? And so my excuse was, okay, fine, what do you look for in a speaker? You know, and then after we speak, I said, I need a direct email so I can email you. I won't talk to anybody else. I need to speak to you. I send you my stuff, and then after that, I said, okay, fine, let it go for a couple of days, and I followed up. I said, hey.
And it's a good job you did.
I tried, my friend. But I was doing some work in the basement. I had stuff all over me, goggles, everything, and then I said, you know what? You said, you know, we should have lunch. I said, you know what? We should do that. Then you said, you know what? Let's not wait. Let's book the time. I'm like, oh, what do I write it down on? You said whatever, and then after we made the date, I wrote it on a piece of drywall. That's exactly what I wrote it on. And then I came to the office here, and I'm sitting in the office now. I'm never out of words, but then I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here. I know I'm supposed to be here. That's how the meeting went. And we just took off from there, but it was a connection that we had so much in common. You know, yes. We're more alike than we are different. You know, he probably have a lighter shade, but together we are the arm. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And so it was powerful, and that's why I'm here today.
So I want to touch on one of the most impactful things that I caught from you, and I talk about it all the time since I've met you, is your story. You living in your car.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh my goodness. I think everyone's got to live somewhere. But my quest to become better than I was yesterday have led me to spend many nights in my car. I went to Seneca College, and after I finished that, I needed to do something better. I started dreaming bigger. And then after that, I went to Southern Arkansas University, applied down into Southern Arkansas University. And that's like hick town, y'all. And if you notice, after a while, the y'all kind of, you know, it's like stuck to me. So anyway, after I finished my dual undergrad there, I got accepted into PT school. So I'm in PT school now, and if you don't know about PT school is tough, okay? And so I'm there now, but the finance ran out. I had a family to take care of. I had a wife and a young son. And it was so challenging that I had to send the wife and say, listen, you need to go back home for a little bit, because I didn't want him to see me in this state. You know what I mean? And I didn't have anywhere to live. I didn't have food. And then I said, listen, I have a one apartment. It's a two-door 1991 Acura GS black on black. That's my car. I slept in the car. I didn't know where else to go. I slept in the car. And I was doing that for about 6 to 8 months. I mean, if you've never been to the Sunshine State, it gets very, very hot, especially when you're sleeping on leather. Okay.
Yeah.
And I slept in the car. I was still dreaming about some of the things that I want to get done, but it was one of those times you realize that you got to go through something to become your dream.
For sure.
You know,
for sure.
And so that's what my experience was.
So what were some of the things that were going through your mind when you were going through it? Because I mean, this show is not only about successes, but it's about dreams and struggles and victories and stuff like that. That's a struggle. That's a struggle that you hear with a lot of people that become the utmost success, the ones that people look at and it's like, I want to be like him.
Right.
What were some of the thoughts that were going through your head at that moment that kept you persevering where you wanted to go and not just throwing in the towel and saying, I can't do this, especially in Florida where it's like so hot.
It is.
And being in a car, it's sweltering.
Yeah, man. One of the first thing that comes to mind, and just to be honest with the audience, is that you want to quit. You want to quit. It's like the excuse factors come in. You don't have to do this, man. You don't have to do this. Many have come and quit before, so why not you? Just it's okay.
Yeah.
You're in a tough spot right now. And you look for every Band-Aid to put on your sore. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get scars. And I said, you know what? I thought about my son. And I said, if I quit now, then my name would never be on the book. If I quit now, then those who supposed to hear me today, we wouldn't be sitting down talking. You see what I'm saying? And so when I think about these things, I also think about my mother who, you know, grew up in Jamaica. Everything was poor. I mean, it was so poor that she couldn't afford the R and the O. It just pulled. You know what I'm saying? It's pulled. And we live in this old house where it was leaned to the side. Literally, there was a big crack inside the wall. And her prayers every day was, please, Lord, keep this house up. Don't let it fall on my child. You know, because we were sleeping in a bed. You know what I'm saying? And she kept dreaming, and she kept dreaming, and she kept dreaming. I said, if my mama can do it, who is 65 years young today, then I can do this.
Nice. Nice. There you have it, folks. I mean, that's not your only struggles.
No.
You had many.
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 I'm just excited for people to hear this because of the fact that, like, I mean, I can relate because it's not very often that you hear people that go through the same struggles and seeing where they're going.
Right.
You had another amazing story that you told me about your car here and you had to get somewhere and you built it.
The car was a 1984 Volkswagen GTI. Black. And when I got accepted into school into Arkansas, I didn't have any ride, I didn't have any, no one gave me a plane ticket and said, there you go. You know, I didn't get any of that. I had the car, but the car wouldn't work. And then I took it to these, it was a mechanic, and the mechanic said to me, hey, I told him what I wanted to do. He said, if this car gets to Arkansas, I will pay you. I was worried then. So one of the things that I did, I said, I took the car to him and I said, okay, put up on a hoist. I don't have a hoist, right? So I had a pen and a paper. And he walked through and he said, this got to be changed, this got to be changed. I said, what else need to be changed? I said, okay. I said, what else need to be changed? So he walked me underneath the car and showed me all the things. He said, just scrap this because it's not going to worth you going through all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, okay. That for me was a challenge. When you tell me I can't do something, I have to find a reason why I can do it based on where I'm trying to go. I went to the junkyard and I went and I took off all the parts that he mentioned that needed to be fixed, that might as well just scrap it. I put it in the car and I drove back to Vaughan, put it all on the driveway. My mom is sitting up there looking at me, you know, from the bedroom window and just shaking her head and praying for me at the same time. It took me 2 weeks to put all those parts back on the car. Took off the old one and fixed the thing. I said, if this thing starts, I'm going. And when it started, I was jumping around inside on the driveway. People were looking at me. My mom sat there, she just looked at me, and I said, you know, Mom, if you left that broken down house and you took not just 6 but 7 children here in 1988, then I can do this. This is a small thing. Fixed the car, drove to Arkansas, 3 days in a car, and made it down there.
Really? Now, was this before or after the experience in Florida?
This was Arkansas. Florida came after Arkansas.
After.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one was Arkansas. That's me to go do my undergrad. And this one, the Florida one, was when I was working on my doctorate.
So it wasn't even like you had experienced, because my original thought was you experienced Florida, so when you were driving, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Because that's always what goes through my mind, because I've been to hell and back with a lot of things, and it's like, you know, what's the worst that could happen? I've been there already.
That's right.
So you're not afraid to take the risk.
No. You can't be afraid to take the risk. You know, I heard Will Smith said that on the other side of fear is greatness. You know, and I use the book here as an example. If this is fear and you come up against fear, most people want to turn back. You know, and they said there's an acronym that's out there that says fear is forget everything and run. You know, but there's another guy that said that he said that fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Zig Ziglar. But the thing is, if you get beyond the fear, everything that you would have missed is back here. But if you don't go beyond that fear, you will never live.
But it's the struggle. I mean, the struggles that make you great.
That's right.
But it's the struggles that are put forth to you to see, in my opinion, it's the universe testing you.
That's right.
To see how bad you really want it. Do you really want it? And the closer you get to it, the more struggles actually start coming at you.
That's right.
And they come at you,
That's
and
right.
they come at you to the point, it's like the Rocky movie where it's like, I can't go anymore.
That's
I
right.
can't go anymore.
That's right.
And then when life hits you again, you really do have to get up and keep going.
You have to. You know, Nelson Mandela said, he said that it's not how many times you fall. Because this life is a fight. Every time you, as a matter of fact, when you get up in the morning, you decide to get up. You didn't have to. You decide to get up. And he said that it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you rise
Get
up.
back up. It's true.
It's how many times you rise up.
We're gonna pause. We gotta pay some bills.
That's right.
We'll be right back with more of this, as far as I'm concerned, amazing story. And we're just getting started. So make sure you keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Our great leaders begin with a vision to start a movement, to make a real impact in society, communicating their message and aligning themselves with like-minded people to equip and inspire others to attain their vision. Creating a vital, healthy community is a group effort, and at the heart of it, you'll find local businesses and organizations fueled by committed people who are passionate about building a better tomorrow for us all. The Toronto Caribbean newspaper has started their own movement, promising to focus on the needs of the community, seeking out relationships with businesses and corporations that share in that same mission. We are legacy builders with one shot to make a difference, and together we can empower the community by adding value, instilling self-worth, and showcasing the cultural identity of our beautiful and ethnically diverse community. As business leaders, we have a corporate responsibility to set the tone of our community with principles led by performance-focused results. By combining our reach, we can provide a platform to establish and share our contributions with the world. We are all people working for companies that are interested in building a better community, helping people stand tall and be proud of their culture. If anybody has ever done it, then you can too. We are all capable, and working together, combining our skills and resources, we can make a change and leave behind an unforgettable legacy.
And we're back with another edition of the Gloves Are Off. I almost said Real Talk. We just finished Real Talk. So. I want to send a big shout out to everybody on the outside that's tuned in. Make sure you keep it locked. Press subscribe, and so you get notifications. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It as of next week, will be live in there. You're watching the first official day, the second show for TCN Network, and looks like we got all the kinks out, so we're excited. I have special guest, Mr. Andrew Guy, author, speaker, motivator, and as far as I'm concerned, just pure awesome with the stuff that he has gone through. So, man, why don't you tell us a little bit about Mr. Andrew? Mr. Guy.
For me, Mr. Guy, really, I'm big on words, and I think that, you know, last time we were talking, and we started talking about words, and I think that everything that you see, this life, this living that we go through, it's based on words. You know, what are you saying?
And this is what you're saying in your book.
Right. You say if we use, not, sometimes you can use good words. Oh, that's a good word. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're going to church. That's a good word.
We get some church music in here.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's almost like this word thing is powerful, but people are really not understanding that this word is life. It breeds life, you know what I mean? And it can cause people to take their life. You see what I'm saying? And so when I say work the words, if you work good words, the good words can be better. And if you work better words, one day somebody can work it the best way. But if you work right words, it don't matter if you're in China, I don't care where you are on planet Earth. If it's right, it's going to produce the right thing. So you got to work the right words.
Have you seen that thing where, I've seen it's gone viral, where they've actually done an experiment where they've taken a jar with rice in it, and they have put a good word and they've put a negative word, and they left it, and for about a week or two later they've gone back and the rice has actually gone black, like with mold. with the negative word?
I have to go
Words
check that
have
out.
power. It's
They
energy.
do.
It's energy.
They do. It's life. You know what's so amazing about it? You know, the subtitle of this book said, you know, finding your pathway to personal success. And I talk to people when I go into the schools and I go into the university, and I say, you know what? This success, everybody wants this success, but success is not really what you think it is. Really, it's the actualization of you telling the world, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer. This is my gifts on display. That's really what success is. You use the right word, it will put you on the right path, because using the specific words will draw or push people away from you.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right words will draw the right people. It's like, oh, you're singing my song. I need to tune into this. So words are very, very powerful, and I completely agree with what you're saying, man. It's words.
I agree. So your newest book,
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
The second book came about when I was working on doctorate. One of my duties at the school was to work in the cadaver lab. And if you don't really know too much about cadavers, they basically are people who donated their body to science. And so we used the bodies to study sickness and disease and so forth. And so while I was in the cadaver lab, you know, I'm in there and I'm dissecting. You know, one of my duties at one particular time was to dissect from, you know, the sternum all the way down to the pubis, and then we pop it open, and then I know that makes you sick. I'm sorry, G. And so, but what I learned is that, you know, is that inside color don't even matter.
That's interesting.
There's no color inside to segregate your thoughts. It's a boom. What I saw are organs, tissues, organ systems coming together to make this one organism work. And so the book is called The Anatomy of the Kingdom, because we are like the human kingdom, right? And when we come together, there is a power that we generate in community. It only happens in community. It only happens in community. And I love your sign out there. It says, come unity. Oh wait, come together, let's unite. Because only when we unite, we really have power.
Wow. Sounds like I'm getting you fired up.
Oh, sorry, man. You just got me started.
This is good.
You got me started. You got me started. It's just, but you know, there's a power. Power basically, the word for power means source.
Yes.
You know, when we come together, and even just this, you know, this show here, this event here happening, there's someone that made this mic, there's someone that made this room, there's someone that's on the camera, there's someone on the lighting. We all come together, man. Like, each one teach one. One hand washes the other. In the end, they're both clean. One hand cannot wash itself. It's about the community. And when we come together, the world is a different place.
So you touching on that, you got a real focus that you wanted to do, which is one of the reasons why we kind of aligned with each other with things, right? And that's building in a community. You have a very different... Everybody that I've talked to, we're doing an event, and everybody that I've talked to, I said, you got to meet this guy, because his views and the way you see things are very different. Why don't you tell us a little bit?
It's different because I see this community as an organism.
Okay.
You know, and when I was writing this book, you know, some of the research that I've done, and then some of the inspiration that I've gotten is that, you know, we're an organism. And as an organism, somebody in your community is a heart. Somebody is a lung. Somebody is a brain. Someone is an eye. Someone is a nose. Someone is a mouthpiece. Someone helps to move things, get things moving. These are the legs. But if we're segregated, that body won't even move. It doesn't matter how much I love running. If I don't have legs, I can't do it unless I have assisted device.
Some people can.
Well, some people can. You see what I'm saying?
With determination.
With determination. So what I'm saying to the power in community, when we assemble, when we come together and we bring our gifts and our specialities together, we now have an organism that can impact the world. That's community assembled.
Interesting.
That's community assembled.
Gets you thinking, doesn't it? Well, I know one thing. Both you and somebody else a couple days prior grilled me, and you kept asking me, what is it that you want to do?
Right.
And then at a certain point it was like, okay, enough said, we can do business together.
Right.
What are some of your beliefs?
My beliefs is that we are all here not to compete, but to complete each other. It's like the finger in the glove. You have the glove, but it was meant for the fingers to be there. You know, we're like this car going somewhere, but it can't go anywhere without the 4 tires on there. We each serve a part, or we play a role in this community. Our goal is to find this gift and see how it complete the next person and team up with that next person, and so we can go in the same direction. For me, one of my goals is to do a TED Talk. And a TED Talk basically is to help to get people understand the power of this community. Because you watch the news, I don't even watch the news, by the way. I don't listen to the news because it's saying everything that different than I believe. And I believe that, I'm going to answer your question. It talks about my belief. My belief basically is that we are created in the image of the Creator to bring about His purpose in the earth. And there's an equation that He has given me called the kingdom equation. It's saying that when our function meet the structure, which is our body, and then we come together to complete a purpose, He gets the glory. And unless we are functioning, then we don't really give God any glory or the Creator any glory. It's like, why are you even here? If the car is not working, it goes to the junkyard. Why do we even have it? But when it's working, then you can tell people, man, I got a Toyota. I got a Ford. I got a Merc. You know what I'm saying? Then everyone wants to know, what car do you drive? Because you're always here on time. And then you want to talk about it. You see what I mean? Because the car is fulfilling its purpose. It's functioning. It's doing its thing. When we function to make the community rich and bring out the gifts in the community, then the world recognizes, wow, you must be doing something. Then they want to partner up with you and help you take your message, boom, to the world.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. I hate to see the long version. That's awesome, man. That's really good. Dream, struggle, victory.
Dream. One is to have a publishing company where I can publish good news. There's too much negativity. I think negativity, it sells because it is marketed more. But I always realize that there are more good happening in the world than that's broadcast. So you may have a few at the top that are publicizing the negative stuff. And I said, but what about the good? What about the base of the triangle? There's a whole bunch of good down there, but you don't hear about that, you know? And I said that if you hang around negative people, then it's like a flat line. You know, when you go into the hospital and you see that little line going up when nothing is happening, when death is in there, it's just a flat line. But if you put a bunch of plus around people, it puts a fence around them and protect them. You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So that's one of my triumph. My dream basically is to come together so I can get this positive message out. Triumph is to continue to fight this good fight, to believe that there's greater coming tomorrow.
And I want to elaborate on that too, because the thing is that we did a presentation about a year and a half ago, and it was when we first launched Community Focus, and we sat in front of many community leaders and advocates that were within the community, and we had to basically sell ourselves and our mission and our vision of what we were doing.
Right.
And the typical thing is people think that as a newspaper, their responsibility is to actually put out the negatives, the news that's happening, the hate, the you know, discrimination, all these different things. And I'm looking at them like, but let me ask you something. Why do people go to church every Sunday? They don't go there to feel bad.
No.
They go there to feel good.
That's right.
Positivity sells just as much as negativity. It's the yin and the yang.
That's right.
It's all about what you choose to push out.
That's right.
And we're about to go to commercial in a second.
All right, cool, no problem.
All right, so anyways, yeah, it's all about what you push out. And
is.
This is one of the reasons why I think we really attracted to each other, because it's the mission and the vision of not only Toronto Caribbean newspaper, but the TCN Network, and everything that we do here. We actually have signs that are on back order that we refuse to have negativity in the office.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Right?
That's
Because everywhere else is negativity. It doesn't need to be here. I mean, people go on Facebook and it's littered with everything, and people tend to fall for it
Right.
because it's rammed so much into your
Right.
head right now,
Right.
and you feel a certain way. I mean, let's
Right.
face it, when you see something that happens, you feel a certain way.
It does. It affects you physically.
It does.
You process
you feel
that
it here.
and it's like the brain, instead of producing serotonin, it's a positive endorphin basically, right? It produces these negative chemicals that weighs you down. You can't even smile up. You frown down. It affects you physically, emotionally. It affects every area of your life. Negative.
And now that I got you fired up, I'm going to put you on pause. We're going to pay a bill. We'll be right back, guys. And when we get back, we're going to get a little more into that because I think it's crucial.
It is. It is.
In a sea of people, it's easy to get lost amongst all the stories we have to tell. With this platform, a new voice is being heard. One that offers real insight to transform, educate, and inspire greatness. Always building, nurturing, and evolving with the times. Our goal is to make a statement, to transform the world, and engage all of its citizens. Accepting multiculturalism is taking the first step, and listening to each other, uniting towards positive change. It's not about any one race, religion, or culture, but about uplifting and empowering one another. Standing above segregation is our game. Our vision is to expand, to create and implement change, zeroing in on what matters the most. Banding together to preserve and celebrate our heritage, cultures, and community spirit. Become inspired by real people, your friends and family, and see that impact within our society. Be proud of the work we have done together. Community focused, we are the Toronto Caribbean newspaper.
And we are back with, the gloves are obviously another edition, like we're just starting. But anyways, welcome back. We got Andrew Guy in the studio. Andrew, during break we were talking a little more on what we were originally talking about
Right.
pushing out positive
Right.
and positivity within the community, pushing things out there. Why don't you give us some of your thoughts?
Oh, it is incumbent upon us to look for the positive in life, because as I was saying, if we look at positive like a fence, it protects us. If you have a house, one of the first things you do, you put a fence around it because you feel safe, right? Positivity doesn't just only empower you, it brings you security. It makes you feel safe. Are you going to walk in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of negativity around? The first thing people do is cling to their purse. Oh, I don't know, something might pop off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you notice a positive environment, you don't even want to carry the purse. You're walking down, you
feel safe.
You feel good, man.
Yeah.
You feel good, and you wanna go and talk to more people. The positive message is not even a need. It is a must. It is a must. And more people, and you touched on something earlier on, that people go to church because some of them go because they go for different reasons. Some go because they want to feel better. Some go for this anecdotal experience. Some go for spiritual upliftment.
But it's all positive.
It is all positive.
Yes.
It is meant to positively reinforce them. Because think about it, if they only go on Sunday, all right? They have 6 days worth of negativity that they have to overcome. So they need a whole bunch of church on that Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To rev them back up so they can last throughout the week. But the message of positivity is like, it's almost like an inoculation for you to basically live this life. It transforms families. You imagine a negative, a father go out to the workplace and he works in a negative environment. He goes home, that family is ruined. Or a wife, that family is ruined. And not only that, or a child going to the school system where all this negativity is there. You're not raising a child anymore, because I'm a father of 2, right? You are competing with all that negative stuff that's going on out there. All the more reason for us to hear positive news. When you turn on the radio, I shouldn't have to turn it on because I don't want my child to hear that. I should turn that thing on and blast it because it's good news.
Yes,
and that's why we need it.
Yes.
That's why we need it.
I firmly agree, and that's why, I mean, if you take a step back and you actually look, it's not just churches. People pay big money to get around people like Tony Robbins
Right.
and all these different things
Right.
because they want to feel good.
Right.
If you look at it, even on social media, you'll see stories that everybody wants that feel-good story.
That's right.
They want to feel that emotion of he did it, he
Right.
made it.
Right.
But you know what's funny is last week I seen a video that was going around. Somebody shared it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because of the way the lady did it,
Mm-hmm.
the only platform she could use because she kept getting banned was Vivo.
Oh, really?
Now, but here's the funny thing. This was their point, to be exact. She did the video nude.
Oh.
Her whole thing was that she was upset over the fact that Facebook, YouTube, all these different platforms that are out there would
Right.
censor her being nude,
Right.
but would not censor videos of people getting killed, violence, and everything else that's out there. Her message was, we have this all wrong. We have it backwards. Right? Because, and I've done that. I've seen videos that have surfaced and stuff like that, and I've reported them where
Right.
somebody getting killed or
Right.
something like that. And Facebook will respond back and they'll say, there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes it's there to shed light or to shed a purpose that's out there. Right?
What purpose?
Well, this is what I'm saying, right? But the thing is that the moment that there's a little bit of a nipple showing or something like
Right.
that, it gets reported as nudity and it's off like that.
Right.
Like that.
They're focusing on, I wouldn't say on the wrong thing, but it's almost like a fallacy. And fallacy basically is judging, from not from the message, but from the specific of what they want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And just to highlight another video, I was talking to a person just about a few minutes ago, and they were talking about this video that went viral. I said, what? Said it was a McMaster student who was on the bus, just the public bus. And a person, I wouldn't say the word disabled, because I think that we're all able in some way, right? So I would say challenge, mobily challenged, right, to be politically correct, right? And I think the person was in a wheelchair or something like that, but they were frustrated because they didn't understand the bus system or where to get off. And the person sensed, the student sensed that this person needed help. Got up from where they were, and they came over and consoled that person. Talk about positive message, right? And just comforted that person. I said, everything is going to be okay. Where are you going? I'm trying to get to so-and-so. Bam. Help the person got off the bus and get to where they need to go. Little did that person know that they were being videotaped. And somebody shared that video online. It went viral. And from the story that the lady was telling me, that McMaster, when they heard about it, decided to pay for a portion of that student tuition.
Wow.
So positivity rewards when it gets out there. But if no one talks about it, it's as if only negative things exist.
But I find now we're in a society where, and I've posted this out before, don't people appreciate good deeds? Like we've become a society that you hold the door open for somebody and they
Right.
just look at you and it's almost expected and they walk past you.
Right.
They don't thank you. And my big thing, I'm always looking at them and I'm thinking, like, acknowledge the kindness.
Right.
As it took 2 seconds to be kind, it also takes 2 seconds to acknowledge it.
It is true. It is a fact. But you know what? People tend to remember the negative experiences over the positive ones because the positive ones are not celebrated.
Good point. Why do you think that is?
Because I think media has a lot to do with it. I think that the media kind of help to construe what people think. It influences them in a way that it goes unmeasured. When I say goes unmeasured, it's like they don't come back and say, because of this amount of negative influences in society, then these behaviors are basically expanded. You see what I'm saying? It's not measured. It is, I'm just pushing this, I'm just pushing it. They know what's going on. There is a method to the madness because they know this is what sells. This is what drive ads. So if I have a whole bunch of negative stuff happening, then therefore I'm going to need more security. So therefore that's somebody's job.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
I can sell more security cameras, then I'm making a product. You see what I'm saying? But there's so much more to positive living. It improves livelihood. You know what I mean? It improves well-being. There's so much more that can be gained from positive messages as opposed to the negative.
Well, I think too, like, I mean, if you want to break it down, negativity as a media, as you know, what happens in being broadcasted out there, I think they discovered it years ago, and I think it's just hit that peak.
It is,
right, because they discovered it from a marketing perspective. Because remember, anything that's out there needs dollars. We need dollars to run here.
Right.
We need, you know, like, so these companies need dollars to get out there.
Right.
So when they discover that pushing out this negativity, reporting on the murder that happened up the street, suddenly creates a need, a fear. You keep people fearful. They're always coming back to see what's happening. Oh my God, so-and-so got murdered up the street. We better pay attention because there could be something else that's happening. So what happens is you build almost a fan base or a following.
That's correct.
To which you can sell ads for.
And to add to what you're saying, what we find is that instability is the engine that runs the marketplace.
Doesn't it also create population control? Like it controls the population.
Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. If a person is unstable, then mentally, then we might need more psychology. And if a person is unstable in their finance, then we need more security in terms of loans and so forth. Instability, through fear, is what's fueling the economy right now. You know. And as I think about this, I had a few points that I wrote down that. How can we, based on our last conversation, you know, you said that your goal is really to transform the thinking of your community. And I said, how can we do that? So if you tell me you want to do something, I'm on board. And I said, we have to work on the thinking. You know, James Allen wrote a book that says, you know, as a man thinketh. You know, because this is the processing center, you know. So we need to think productivity. We need to think process. We need to think bigger. We need to think so big that if one of those dreams accidentally happens, life itself will change for the dreamer.
It's true.
We need to go bigger than us. And we need to look at people as a component. You know, we look at them as a component to the big picture. And we can't look at somebody because of their color. We can't look at somebody because of their race or the way they speak. But see the hue in the man.
Yes.
The hue man.
Yes.
Behind the color. Behind the name, behind the dress, behind the robe. See the humanity behind that. And then let's come together to make a fist so we can pack a punch and change the world.
Wow. Wow.
It's alarming when I think about what's happening out there. But the essence of this is to let people know you're never too small. You're never too big to make a difference. Your 2 cents counts also. It does.
It's impactful.
I have a few more I want to share, if that's okay with you.
Go for it.
Belief is the next thing. It said believe that you can make a difference. Believe that you're valuable. And value, most people think is what I pay for something. It isn't, you know. Value is a resource that's inside something. And valuable, meaning that value, you have an ability to influence the world. So your gifts is your value. And your ability is your influence. Like this right here. We're going to change the world. And if 2 people watch this show and share it, if 1 person share it and it goes viral, we have made a difference.
Agreed.
If 1 person decided, I'm not going to think the way I used to think, we've made a difference.
Agreed.
So, and that's what we're here about today. That's what we want to do. That's our message.
And with that, we are going to take a break. It's left me speechless, guys. Speechless. I'm loving it, man. This aligns with what we are doing so much. I'm smacking the mic. I'm getting excited, man.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's all right.
You know, are you ready for a break? Yeah, okay. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
When we are born, the world is a foreign place. We have not yet mastered the use of our 5 senses, and our eyes cannot decipher the complexities of judgments we do not know. As children, our innocence allows us to see a world of endless possibilities. We thrive in the world of imagination, creating a place where everyone writes a unique story, and there is zero judgment, since everyone is the same, yet unique in their own way. Over the years, humanity has altered our ways of thinking, creating stigma, judgment, and prejudice based on the history of our ancestors. We have trained ourselves to believe that our history puts us at a disadvantage in society. Our unique and exotic classifications are a testament to the diversity of the world. History doesn't have a future. It's set in stone. The possibility for change lies in our responsibility to know our self-worth, learning from the history, embracing and honoring our heritage, while educating, inspiring, and empowering others to see past what's in front of them to the power inside. It's not about what you look like. It's about realizing the potential of humanity and recognizing the greatness in everyone. It's time to invest in solutions, change the conversation, and think differently about our future. Life isn't a competition of who can do better than the other. It's about eradicating prejudice, boosting self-esteem, discovering our identity, and carving out our own legacy while aspiring to achieve greatness.
Man, I always say the best conversations happen during break. I can't get over the time because, I mean, we were just getting fired up and getting going.
Man,
Andrew, we're going to have you back again.
it would be my pleasure to be back.
Your
This stuff have to be unpacked.
Your message is incredible. How can people follow you?
They can follow me on my website. It's andrewguyspeaks.com. andrewguyspeaks.com.
And where can they get your books?
They can get my book on Amazon, or they can go to my website, and I think they're in Barnes & Noble, and you can get it from there. And I'm working on trying to get into some stores in Canada, so we're working on that right now.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
The floor is open.
The floor is open. It's possible. Whatever your it is, it's possible. Don't let people tell you that it's impossible. I've seen a slogan online that says, take the impossible and turn it to I am possible. But whatever your it is, whatever is getting up out of the bed to find out what your dream is. Dream big. And I'm not saying, I don't do cliche because it's popular to say. Dream big. Dream so big that if there is a mistake and your lottery of dream come to fruition and it accidentally happened, that your life will change instantaneously. If you dream so small, you need a whole bunch of these small ones to make your life change. But dream so big out of yourself that if it does happen, bingo, you've won the human lottery. And that's you. And the next thing, don't look at the back of your hand or the palm of your hand, but look at the arm and its ability to connect with other people to transform the world. If you see the color, you miss the function.
You know what, to add to that, it's so true, and that's one thing that we're trying to push out, you got to see past that.
That's
you
right.
have to see people's capabilities
That's
and
right.
what they can do and their potentials.
That's right.
It's so important.
It
is so important.
It is. We miss, you know, I keep talking about your sign out there in the lobby that we miss, you know, the real bulk of the human, which is the iceberg, and we accept the tip. Mm-hmm. The tip is what the person dressed like. The tip is the person's accent. The tip is where they come from, their background, or their educational level, or their socio-economic status. That's just a tip. But could you imagine if you get to understand the you in the man? You will discover the human. Mm-hmm. You will discover the human. And work the right words. Stop saying stuff like, I'm a no good, I'm not going to be this, or I'm not going to amount to any good, or because I am black, or because I'm white, or because I'm whatever, or because I'm a male, or because I'm a female. Then stop limiting yourself by your words. Work right words. And not right things. Wonderful things will happen. Your life will change.
But the important thing to add to this is it starts with one person.
That's right.
Always. It always starts with one person.
It does.
That's the person in the mirror.
That's right.
You know what's funny? As soon as they said it, I thought about it. But Michael Jackson was 100% right.
He's right.
With this song.
That's right. If there was room, I would have kicked a leg. You know?
But it's so true. It starts with the person in the mirror.
It does.
Right? Once you seek to understand, the problem is that a lot of, and I know we're going over time, but a lot of hatred and racism and I can't think of everybody else, prejudice that's happening out there is because it's ignorance. It's not, and if you look at ignorance, when I say ignorance, it's uneducated on the subject.
That's correct.
People don't understand. They don't take the time to understand. Instead, they look at one thing. They look at the difference.
That's right.
And how can two people sit in a room right now and have the same visions and dreams, but yet put some sort of a limitation on it because of the thing you see on the outside?
That's right.
The one thing that you said that was really key to me was the fact that when you cut a person open, which was really gross, but when you cut a person open, everybody looked the same inside. That's exactly and this has always been my argument. Or I won't even call it an argument. This has always been my point. Right. Is that if you were lying, you could take the, and I'm sorry to get into this, but you could take the most racial person that is out there, take his son, God forbid, or his daughter, and let them be on death's bed. Let them actually be in the hospital, and the only thing that would save them was a transplant. Do you think that heart, that lung, that whatever that came in, do you think that person who is so racist would turn around and say, I'm sorry, but I can't accept that because it came from a black person?
That's right.
Hell no.
That's right.
And that just proves a point that it's only what we're taught.
That's right.
It's only what is pushed out with families and schools and the system. The system wants people to fight so that way we don't pay attention to what everything else is going on.
That is absolutely.
Guys, it's nothing to do with color. And I'm sorry to get on this, but it's something that I'm very passionate about. My kids are mixed. My kids are mixed. My kids are neither brown nor are they white. They are my freaking kids.
And they're human.
They're human. You got to get past the color people.
You really have
truly.
to.
And it's a big thing right now with all the crap that's going on in the States, with Trump and all this shit that's happening.
It's crazy.
There is so much racial politics that are going on and so much hatred. I can't tell you, if you think I get people all the time to say you got it easy because you're white. I hear this all the freaking time. Let me tell you something. When I walk into a rum shop, if I walk into a certain place, people think I'm a cop because I'm white.
Wow.
And the eyes that I get when I walk in there are just the same that people think on the other side.
It's true.
And I've gotten hate emails. I've gotten everything. It doesn't matter. Who I am is who I am, and I believe in one thing, and that is unity. I can't say it any other way.
But you know, Grant, to add to what you're saying, I think that, you know, at the bottom, two things I'm gonna clarify. This racism. Like racism, think about it. When you think of a racist, cancer is a cyst. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
So if you think of racist, right, that's basically a fast cancer. You understand what I'm saying? They're running a race, right? And cyst is a tumor that grows in the body, and it hogs all the other resources, right? And so it hogs all this other resource, and that's why people die. But if we cut out the cyst, do a surgical operation by looking in the mirror, and cut out the cyst, then maybe we can run together. Just maybe.
I agree.
We can run together.
I agree.
There's no room for the racism. I think those people who are racist is that they're hurting, because they say that hurting people hurt other people.
It's true.
So what you're looking at is hurt. So we need to get to understand those people and find out what's the deal. Why don't we just talk? And then you'll find that you trace all of this cis and whatever else what's out there, this hate and negativity, all of that stuff came from hurt.
Well, look at the recent things that have been happening where, I mean, it's horrible what's happening in the States and you know, with the cop killings and all this stuff. Unfortunately, that gets shared out more.
That's right.
Then what about the nice cop that has done something? Or what about the nice black person that's been out there that has gone and he's a churchgoer and he believes in helping people and he goes out and he's helping people. He doesn't care about the color.
That's not popular. They're not going to share that. That's not going to get ads.
I'm telling you, and I said this at the beginning of our show, I'll say it right now. It's unfortunate, but through marketing, through what media is doing, we have become the United States in a lot of ways. I walk into places like yesterday, I was walking into different shops, and they had CP24 on, which was freaking putting out Donald Trump's speech.
Wow.
And we don't even see half of the stuff that Trudeau does.
Right.
Our own prime minister.
Right.
It's like Donald Trump is our president, and everybody is sitting in the location, glued to that TV, watching a fool on TV.
But you know what was strange, and I've noticed this too, but a lot of people have highlighted the United States and say, oh, United States, United States this, but that may be, you know, overt, you know? Canada is systemic in some of the stuff that it does too. It's covert. It may be underneath the radar. They may not highlight it as much. It is happening here. It is here. And you know it's happening here is because when the opportunity is right, when the environment is right, then we may use a scapegoat to say, oh, it's because of the U.S. why we're acting like that. No, it's the individual. You can't blame somebody else for your behavior.
Sometimes people look for mistakes and it stems down to the one thing that they're hurting. So guys, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you so much. I know we went off on a tangent.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
You got me going.
That's
so
all right.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is what the station is all about. This is about creating exposure, bringing light, shedding light to issues that are happening in a positive direction. We're not interested in promoting hate. We're not interested in promoting negativity. We're interested in promoting what's good. We want to celebrate the successes that are happening. Let people hear about the struggles and how they became victorious. This is what the Gloves Are Off is about. This is what TCN Network is about. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know our technician behind the camera has been looking at me like your time is done. Guys, please share the video out. Please subscribe to our channels. And please stay tuned. We appreciate your support. Until next week, see you guys later.